All right, Scorpio. I sat with these cards for a minute, trying to figure out how we're going to tackle this. So, it's not bad, by the way. There's nothing bad here. Nothing negative, nothing bad. It's just, you have to get honest, which you're good at. Honest with yourself, at least, which you're good at. You never fool yourself. You're not usually, people who can even be in denial. Is that even possible for a Scorpio? Because you're just so real. Even when you're avoiding something, you at least know you're avoiding something. Or when you're pretending to be in denial, at least you know you're pretending to be in denial, right? At least to yourself, you know it. So I'm looking at this Knight of Wands here, and I like this deck because a lot of the characters are actually in nighttime. And nighttime needs to be more represented, I think, the darkness. And then we have it coupled here with the moon energy and the black coloring of the devil, which came out twice. Because a lot of life is darkness. A lot of life is the unknown and the mysteriousness and, full of infinite possibilities on a choice by choice, second by second basis. And I think on some level you're kind of enjoying the intensity of the unknown. You might be replacing one intensity, like an unrequited love or like a missed opportunity or a financial loss, and sort of transmuting that emotional intensity into an emotional intensity about the unknown, about the unconquered territory, and about this new chapter that I think you are excited to write, but also hesitant because you want it to be the right things. And I know you're totally willing to get on this chariot at any moment. You're totally willing. We get the Knight of Wands twice, so it does reinforce the energy that Scorpio wants to move. Scorpio wants to get things going, wants to hit the road and do what it's got to do. And you're okay with it being in the unknown for right now, and maybe on many levels that's preferable. Because maybe this Nine of Swords was something about, you knew exactly what you wanted. You knew that you loved that person and you wanted to be with them. And when it didn't come for you, when it didn't show up for you, and you were disappointed and you were stressed and sad and feeling the heartache or whatever, now you're okay, well, I'm going to let go of the thing that I want and just say, I just want whatever's meant for me. And you let the universe fill in the blanks. You're a little gun-shy with the Magician card reversed. I think you are hesitant to... I'm not going to say you're hesitant to make decisions because I don't think that's the case. But I do think you're hesitant to do big decisions right now. Because you want to see what the options are. You don't want to go down any road too fast. You don't want to jump in. And perhaps the intense emotions are actually now officially indications that something's probably not the best for you. Especially when other people's free will is involved. You're not setting goals with other people's free will at play. That's why you're shifting that intensity toward an unknown so you can still feel the passion that you want to feel, but it's something more concrete, like I'm going to go build a business instead of trying to make this person my significant other, right? You're swapping here. This is much more attainable, but it gives you that thing you crave, which is the conviction, right? The going in head first, deep end, straight into the ocean kind of deal. But you're being cautious about anything with people. Now, I know I'm contradicting myself here. These are people with shared visions who are willing to go into the deep end with you. And I'm wondering if those kinds of people aren't in short supply these days, which is why you need to kind of go out and get a new circle. Get some new friends, get some new professional contacts. Like, this is all about freshness, right? You're on the other side now. You've made it. So you have a whole different terrain to tackle. And you need different people with different skill sets to help you get there. And you may feel like you are officially starting from the beginning, the very beginning. And you may feel like, how am I ever going to build it up? How am I ever going to make this happen? How am I ever going to, have what it is that I really, really want? But that's not really a question you need to worry about answering. In fact, a lot of the readings this month were about accepting the fact that you're never going to know how this is going to go. When it talks about a practical plan, again, you're not reliant on other people's free will here. If something requires someone else to do something, or requires a manipulation of someone else's feelings, that's not the path. That's not the right thing. And so you're just simply realigning yourself with the right individuals here and with the right vision for yourself. See what happened? I just like this death card reversed. It's like, guys, the transformation is over. The hard part is over. This is the time when you're meant to enjoy the progress. This is the time when you're meant to enjoy how far you've come, and you're meant to enjoy now all the things that you know about yourself. Because all that stuff is specifically to help you get propelled forward this year and delay the new foundation for whatever it is you're trying to build. It is all that Nine of Swords stuff that has given you that wisdom. But because you are wired with a major placement, sun, moon, or rising, maybe some of you also have Mars or Saturn or Venus or Mercury in Scorpio, like major personality planets in Scorpio, and you can really just get caught in the idea or caught in the trap that you are always transforming, which is true, but that it always needs to be a difficult transformation, which is not true. You're entering into a time of ease. And these beautiful cards are kind of mixed up in these intense energies here, kind of, swapped in. So you're experiencing kind of the handoff, like someone's handing you the baton now, or you're handing the baton to someone else. And now the burden is really off your shoulders. And now it's just a matter of letting the good things come, and letting the love come, letting the partnerships come, letting the communication happen. There's just really not a lot of need for effort from Scorpio right now. And if you're dealing with a Scorpio and they're problematic, it's because they want to stay here. That's it. And you gotta just let them figure it out that, take your eyes off, take your hands off your eyes, open your eyes, look around. There's still enough sunlight, light anyway. There's still enough starlight, moonlight for your Scorpio to understand that they're in a different place. And they'll figure it out eventually, and they'll come to terms. But for, again, most of you, I think you're feeling this equilibrium happening. You're feeling this whole evening out. And the things that you were obsessive about are just simply not feeling so strong. And how great that is. And I think you are grateful for that. You are grateful for the fact that the intense stuff is waning. And when you tap into this temperance, which we got the temperance card a couple of times, right? 2 cards of temperance. When you find that temperate place, again, maybe a little bit of fighting along the way, but you do open yourself up for the attainment and the achievement. I love the 10 of coins that came out here. I love the Taurus energy that came out here, the triumph energy with the chariot energies. In the King of Coins, it's all very much about the having of the thing. Again, maybe not having of the thing with that person, but still having the thing. So if you were in an unrequited romantic situation, you might not be with that one person, but it doesn't mean you can't have the kind of love you hoped for with that person with someone else. This is a time for Scorpio to have the stuff, to enjoy and indulge in the stuff. Mars in the second house. This is a house of indulgence, right? You can take care of yourself. We know that. That's not a surprise. You can make things happen yourself. You can build a business. You can find a relationship. You can build a house. You can have children. Like, we know you can just do those things. The question is are you going to enjoy it? And are you going to sit in it and express the gratitude for it? There's no grasping with the King of Coins, ever. He's never grasping for anything. He's just enjoying. So is that the battle? Enjoying what you've got? Or enjoying what comes your way? Six of Swords reversed in the center here. Remember, now we have the Eight of Cups. You don't have to go anywhere. Like, I know we had the Six of Swords here, but I think that is the indication of the peaceful horizon that you have arrived. You've done the moving on. If you are continually now in a place of saying that you have to move on, you have to move on, ask yourself, like, what are you really moving on from? You know, if it was an unrequited... I don't know why this unrequited love thing is coming to my mind. I have no clue why that's like a thing. I'm just wondering, it just popped into my head and now I can't get it out. So you can kind of use this analogy in a different way. But like, if you had, you know, someone that you loved, but you never had a relationship with them, then it's not about moving on, because you never had it in the first place. Do you know? Does that make any sense? Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. And when you turn around from the Seven of Wands, look at what happens. It does take courage. When the Seven of Wands becomes comfortable, this is an odd energy to be comfortable in. But Nine of Swords, same thing. It's weird to be comfortable in that kind of state of mind, or that kind of state of heightened adrenaline. It's just like someone looking for a fight. And why? Sun, strength. This is going to take courage. This is the courage that I'm talking. This is why I said courage, right? Like, I never thought I was going to be having the courage conversation with a Mars-ruled sign, but yet here we are. Do you have the courage to turn around? Do you have the courage to be the King of Coins? Do you have the courage to not have the thing? And do you have the courage to accept that you're never going to know? You're never going to know how this is going to happen. You're never going to know the way the universe has this structured. You're never going to know how you're going to get the things you want. But to also know that you will have the things you want. This is the time to indulge, to have fun. Mars in the second, go out, eat, enjoy your food, stay at home, do the Netflix binges, whatever. You can just simply like go into the extremes of relaxation, I think is an okay thing, as long as it's balanced with hard work as well. It's a time to see the sunlight. Like, right? Take your hands off your eyes. Look up. You can see it. It's okay. All is well. All is well that ends well. Have peace. Four of Swords. This is often a card that comes out so often. Oh my God, I can never pick these up off the. So common for these two to come out together, because it's the time to disengage, step into the other room, Put your mind at ease, really think it through. Is it worth it? Is this going to get me what I want? Probably not. All right, fine. Does the Seven of Wands make me feel satisfied? No, it does not. Is it productive? No, it is not. Does this Seven of Wands just simply keep me in the state that I was trying so hard to get away from? Yes, it does. And why self-sabotage in that way when you have so many cards that indicate that you could potentially set yourself to step onto your chariot, to succeed, to be victorious, to have the love that you want, to have the money that you want, right? Like, why set yourself up for failure? I think a lot of Scorpios watching this is a familiar story, but for like the last 3 years, like not anymore. It's played out now, it's tired. And I think with this, you are getting bored with this narrative, this stuff here. It's boring. It's not interesting anymore. And now you're on a path of discovery and, the way that Scorpio can really dig deep. Scorpio has a lot to do with like surgeons cutting things open and going deep inside and digging deep and finding things under the ground. And I'm kind of sensing that kind of exploration, but like with life. That kind of depth with life experience. Because you've had enough of the inside stuff. You've had enough of the emotion and enough of the deep, dark, psychological stuff. Like, okay, we get it. Let's move on. Let's do the life experience stuff. And so you're shaking it up, which you like. This is also a Scorpionic card. You're shaking it up. And it's for the sake of experiencing the whole breadth. Because if you can experience the Nine of Swords, you can definitely also experience the sun. This is the difference between the darkness and the light. And I think you'd rather step into the light now. It's a little too chilly here. It's a little too damp. And you're a little bit too prone to hypothermia in a Nine of Swords kind of thing. Hypothetically, of course. Or metaphorically anyway. You're just a little too prone to illness with the Nine of Swords. So let's get the vitamin D, let's get the blood moving, let's get the smiles on the faces, and let's just enjoy our lives. Knight of Wands. He's so happy. I just feel a happiness. And I know you're ready to just be happy. You're ready to be satisfied. Maybe happy is not the right word. Maybe the word is satisfied. Right? So now's the chance. Now's the chance for you to recognize that now's the chance. Again, Temperance comes out again, along with the Justice card, which tells me you're going to be really, again, open-minded, really diplomatic, especially with this person. You're going to have the ability to communicate, but I also know you're not really ready to start anything, because with the Six of Cups reversed, it tells me that Scorpio is not operating in fantasy world right now, right? Taurus, practical plan. You're not in fantasy world. You're not idealizing things. You don't want to be operating in delusion. You've had enough of that. And now it's really just time for you to take it one day at a time. So Ace of Wands is reversed, because I don't think you're really looking for like this whole big, massive, like I said, totally brand new, super risky kind of deal. That's why the Ace of Wands is reversed. You're ready for something real, ready for something tangible. And maybe that kind of stuff is not the most exciting stuff. All this stuff that's happening here, it might not be going from, a $20,000 a year freelancer, part-time in the wee hours of the night, to the multi-million-dollar contract all in one go, right? Maybe it's not that kind of a jump, and I think you're okay with that. This is, again, the one thing at a time, from a $20,000 a year freelancer who's doing it in the wee hours of the night to bumping it up to a livable salary so you can quit your job. That's like the next thing. It's reasonable, it's logical, it makes sense, and you know you can make it happen because you have the faith in yourself to be able to make it happen. And the faith in oneself is an inevitability at this point. Because now you see what you're capable of doing. You know how far you're able to be pushed. So all these little decisions are so minuscule, like nothing really means anything. It's not ever really a big deal. And I'm wondering if you're starting to see a maturity difference here between whatever this Knight of Swords is and where you actually are at. If you're here at the King of Coins and the King of Cups, which is the Taurus Scorpio axis being represented here, you're sitting a lot more securely than the Knight of Swords. I think the Knight of Swords is a cause of turbulence. It's a cause of disruption that is one of the reasons why you simply don't want to like spark a new opportunity with them. And one of the reasons why you may feel like you kind of need to separate from them right now. You know, you may feel like that. And of course that's okay. You may have to disappoint someone, but it's always for the sake of the greater vision, right? Your dreams. Dreams and practical. You need both. You need the big and the small. Here's the big. Three of coins, 8 of coins. It's about the small, the one at a time. This is the hard work that you do. And I don't know that this Knight of Swords is really willing to do the work. This Knight of Swords isn't willing to make the choice that it needs to happen. So, for example, I'm going to go back to the unrequited love thing just because I feel like that's a theme. But again, fill in the gaps as you see fit. Like, if you're in love with a married person, is this person going to leave their husband or their wife? That's the next logical step. Are they going to do it? And if the answer is no, then you get to live out your legacy in a different capacity, but you still get to have your legacy. But you just have to acknowledge that maybe the legacy wasn't meant to be with them. And that could be the harshness of the reality of the Three of Swords, which I think you've known all along. See, there's no surprises here for Scorpio at all. Nothing is surprising. Nothing is out of the ordinary. Nothing is a shock because you've always known. And I remember having this conversation with you back in April because I remember I was in Barbados. I remember this reading so clearly. You've always known, and you've just had to work on admitting to yourself what you've known when you've known it. And then you just have had to work on accepting that as truth and acting accordingly. And I think now all of your intuitive, your intuition is now being hard and fast confirmed. It is. It's being hard and fast confirmed. Arms crossed, 9 of Cups. This person can try to talk to you all they want, and you'll listen, and you'll be nice. Justice, temperance, you'll be nice. You'll listen, you'll be friendly, you'll be kind, but it doesn't mean you're opening that door. It doesn't mean you're going to start something because maybe they have not been willing to take the step. They're not meeting you in the middle. They may be acting out, and they may be saying all the right things, but when it comes down to the Taurus doing tangibility, are they doing it? No, they are not. And you have too much to protect. This is your dream up here. You have to protect it. You don't just get to let someone come in and, I don't know, a lot of times we say this is a page giving something, right? But maybe he's taking, he doesn't get to just come and take a trophy off your shelf. You know, he doesn't. Here's the battle of self, big time. This is not necessarily connected with a particular storyline, but this is the battle of oneself. Here you have I always call him the Buddha within, the inner guru. It's the one that knows the truth. You operate here a lot. This is a very comfortable feeling for Scorpio, because when you know, you know. You know what's right, you know what's not right, you can see through people, you know when intentions are all messed up, you know. So when that part of you is being ignored, that's when you get yourself into a devil situation. But you're always going to have that little whispering in your head. You're never going to escape it. 2 major arcana way outweigh 1 major arcana. The devil happens when you ignore the high priest and the high priestess. These are your best friends. You know, this guy somehow, sometimes he creeps in and he wins because we want to do the things that feel good in the moment, that satisfy our ego, that validate us, that make us feel special, even when we know we shouldn't be doing it. And even when we know we're doing it for the wrong reasons. So here's your truth, Scorpio. The truth you crave so much. Here it is. You've always known. You know you know. You know you're on the other side. You know it's time for life to be easier. You know it's time for you to succeed and make that money and find that love and build that legacy. It's time, and you know it, and you deserve it, and you've paid your dues, and you've learned the lessons. So now it's time. Now you're able to actually have it. 2020, that's what it's all about. It's going to start slow. It's not going to happen all at once. Like I said, it's not about going from the little gig to the multi-million-dollar thing. This is slow building. But you do, and you will find the right person or people with whom to do that with. So, I mean, like, really awesome reading, but you just have to be okay with the harsh truth sometimes, which you will, and you are. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you guys so much for everything. I really wish you nothing but the best. Have an excellent Aquarius season, and I will see you next month. Take care.